So after a little over a year trying to get an actual proper fitting in, as well as have some sort of help and assistance and making sure my clubs and everything are correct, finally pulled through. We had a last minute scheduling for Srixon days, which happened to be landing today on the 4th. And we just happened to be lucky and sign up to it. As a note for anybody that's looking at doing these events, if it is at a course, check in with the course on making sure that you're actually scheduled, because they got their own side of it, as well as Srixon itself. We did online, kind of find out they don't really check online. They kind of just do their in-store scheduling for it. Anyways, me and my wife, or my wife and I, actually got lucky and we were able to get in first before the normal scheduling started. So we're able to get checked and fitted. Thank God, because I've been trying for this for a while, and the 2 other Srixon days completely fell through and they were canceled and blah, 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 right? Anyways, I feel so much better actually having somebody go over my clubs with me and able to take care of some of the things that I've been asking questions on. To start out, I was asking about my wedges. First off, if my wedges were appropriate and gapping was done correctly. So these have the KBS high rev 2.0 shafts for my 60 and 54 degree, and my 50 degree CBX has the dynamic gold 115 two-racer spinners. Kind of find out there's really not a whole lot of difference between the shafts. Technically, the KBS are supposed to be higher launching. I actually get a little bit lower launch out of it and a lot more spin out of it. The answer on that one is, unless you really want a more heavier wedge, go with one that matches your irons, especially since this fitter had just gotten done actually meeting with Srixon Cleveland down in Huntington Beach at their facility. He said shafts are very important. I can go to the dynamic gold shafts that match my set, but that's my choice. So when it comes to the wedges, pretty much he just said, get rid of the 60 degree, go to 58 degree, unless I'm specifically using this just for around the green. I use it for pretty much everything and full shots. So my 60 degree wedge needs to become a 58. I tried the CBX for a 50 degree and a gap wedge. And yeah, this is actually the perfect wedge for my gapping. It is exactly what I needed for it. If I wanted a little bit higher spinning, I could go to the RTZs, but he said for the most part, I'm playing exactly what I should. Now, mind you, the point of this video is I've been frustrated because I've been trying to get help in fitting and making sure my stuff is correct, and I haven't. I pretty much fit myself for all of this. My iron shafts are correct for what I have. I've been going off of the original fitting that I had from Cleveland back in like 2011, which is the dynamic gold True Temper S300s. These have been the best shafts in my opinion for me. I love the control, I love the dispersion, I love the stability out of them, and the weight above anything else is the best part about it. I'm playing the lowest spinning, lowest launching shaft that you could get next to the Project X's, and even the fitter was saying that there's no reason for me to go higher spin unless I go to blades or actual player's irons and stuff, because of the fact that I have, even he was saying that it's pretty rare to get as much spin on range balls like I was, because we were using the Srixon marathons. Essentially landing on the fairway, I'm getting on the back up even as far as 5/4 iron. Utility club. I got the last generation of the Srixon ZX utility iron, and I've been fighting it and trying to get better performance out of it and stuff. I ended up cutting the shaft down and whatnot and everything. Kind of find out, yes, this isn't bad. The shaft is not right for me. And instead of spending, $300 or $400 and getting a different shaft in it, in my opinion, and trying the new ones out, look at the new ZXi utility iron. It is a little bit thicker. It is way easier to hit. It has a way better feeling to it. And I believe it's a Mitsubishi chemical shaft that's in it that's proprietary. You can't buy it aftermarket unless somebody took it out of one of them. It was so much easier to hit, and it was just a dream. So at some point, I do plan on replacing this. This was just a clearance buyout that I wanted to try. This is a club that I'm going to replace at some point. Glad to know that I was in the right direction. He even told me with the height and spin that I get off of this 3 utility iron is better than what people typically get off of a hybrid. He was even trying me with a 2 hybrid to see the difference. I hit this one with more consistency, better flight, and higher spin than I was hybrid. So next option for me is to replace this one with the new ZXIs, the stock shaft, because I did get maximum performance out of it. 3 wood. So he was kind of excited and happy to go and see that I am playing the FL 3 woods with the stock Miyazaki shafts in it. He was just like, oh, those are the easiest shafts to hit. I was trying the new ZXI 3 woods, having a little bit of issues with it, trying different things. I did cut down, I have 2 of these. I have a normal launch and a high launch. So I cut down my normal launch one an inch to see if that actually worked. And both fitters there said, basically, unless you're hitting your 3 woods over 300 yards and you're trying to do something very specific, oh, there's a bun that's running around. Unless you're doing something very specific, don't cut your 3 woods down. I ended up actually getting fitted, not for the Srixon. I got fitted for, in his own words, I'm a Cleveland guy. I got fitted for the new, well, last generation Cleveland XL 3 wood with the Tennessee blue shaft. So that's going to be something in my future that I'm going to be looking at replacing, because I love the flight I got out of it. I love the actual overall performance. It was actually familiar but easier to hit than this. It's basically an up-to-date model of this one, which is pretty surprising because this is like a 2011 3 wood. So to see a little bit of a difference on it. I'm going back to the high launch 3 wood because this is a standard shaft and it only goes 5 yards shorter. Now, the club that I had the most issues with, which ended up being my driver, more or less, he said, aside from their little bit of gloating about the standard flat lies, said the hazardous red as well as a 10.5 and everything is correct. The only thing I could do to mess around with it to check different flight is go with a heavier weight in the heel. But ultimately, I more or less fitted myself for my clubs and they are for the most part correct. I'm bringing all this stuff up just so if you know you're having issues with some of it, this is ways that you could look at it. Sometimes if you go off of instinct, it might be better. They seem to more focus on weight of some of the clubs than they were actually focused on the different flexes and everything. Granted, he didn't want to keep me in a regular flex on anything because my swing speed is up there as well as my aggressiveness. I basically turn regular flex shafts into a fishing rod, and I'm not trying to do something very specific like Bryson does. So having a stiff flex shaft was a little bit better. They focused again on the weight and the load of the shaft. So the Tensees, even though I don't really like the load on the driver shaft, ended up actually feeling great in the 3 wood for Cleveland. The hazardous is a stiffer overall with my driver, so I could be a lot more aggressive. After he watched me hit a couple with the Srixon, he wasn't even gonna have me try the Cleveland high bore just because of the fact that I hit this pretty good. I just need to refine my long game. So ultimately, what I got out of it is I actually fit into a lot of the stock options. Not necessarily like I have to go with some fancy, you know, Fujikura shaft or, you know, the Vandis red or whatever in the shafts. I can pretty much get most of these shafts off of the shelf and see maximum performance out of it. It's just fine tweaking. I'm gonna do another video explaining what I mean about some of this because believe it or not, even if you do get fitted, there is a lot of clubs that you could fit for off the shelf. You just need to pay attention to the weight and some of the shaft options if it's actually something in the line that's appropriate to you. That's content for another video. Anyways, this is my update of the bag. I'm so excited that I actually finally got a proper fitting and demonstration and observation of all of it. So hopefully this actually kind of helps some of you out there kind of get the idea of like, yeah, you don't have to have everything fully custom fitted, but it is nice to have it checked and verified, because this just answered a lot of questions for me and it saved me a lot of time and money because these events are free. So if you've had issues or success with fittings at events like this or whatever, please leave a comment down below for your experience. If you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. You know, keep in the fairway. Have a good one.